Hello, friends. I'm Valerie, and today I want to walk you through why your energy doesn't feel consistent. Energy naturally rises and falls throughout the day, and most people notice this, but often it feels unpredictable. Some days you feel steady, other days your energy drops or doesn't come back the way you expect. And what's actually happening is that the pattern behind it is being shaped by how your body is responding to stress and how well it's able to shift back into recovery. When that pattern is working well, energy feels more stable. But when it's not, those fluctuations become much more noticeable. This is what a healthy daily cortisol rhythm is designed to look like. Cortisol naturally rises in the morning to help support alertness and focus, motivation, energy production, and then gradually declines throughout the day so the body can transition into rest, repair, and deeper recovery at night. When this rhythm is functioning well, energy tends to feel more stable and the body is able to move between activity and recovery more efficiently. But when stress becomes prolonged, recovery is impaired, or the nervous system remains stuck in a stress response state. This rhythm can start to lose its normal pattern. And that's when people often begin experiencing things like feeling tired but wired, afternoon crashes, poor sleep, waking exhausted, or difficulty recovering even after rest. When this rhythm is disrupted, it doesn't always show up in just one way. Sometimes levels stay too high for too long, so the body has a harder time winding down. Other times they're too low, which can show up as low energy, poor focus, or feeling like you never fully get going. And in many cases, the timing is simply off. The rise and fall doesn't happen when it should. So it's not just about how much is there. It's about whether the rhythm is happening at the right time. And when that timing is off, that's when energy starts to feel inconsistent and recovery becomes less reliable. When this pattern is off, it starts to show up in ways people recognize. You might wake up feeling low, like it takes a long time to get going. Then your energy drops during the day. You hit a crash, even if you were doing okay earlier. And later at night, instead of winding down, you feel more alert or wired when you're trying to rest. So even though you're tired, your body isn't shifting into recovery the way it should. And that's when the whole pattern starts to feel inconsistent. Cortisol is meant to be higher earlier in the day when the body needs energy, focus, and to be alert. But as the day moves toward evening, cortisol should gradually come down. That decline helps signal that the body can stop being in output mode and begin shifting towards sleep and recovery. When cortisol stays elevated too late, the body can feel tired but still alert. That can make it harder to fall asleep, stay asleep, or wake up feeling restored. So recovery depends on the body being in the right state. And lower cortisol at night is part of that recovery state. This is where your symptoms start to matter and where looking at your cortisol rhythm can become useful. If you're dealing with fatigue, poor sleep, brain fog, or inconsistent energy, it often means this rhythm isn't working the way it should. But those symptoms don't tell you what the pattern actually is. This type of test becomes important because it allows you to actually see your rhythm, how it rises and falls, and whether it's happening at the right times. And once you can see that pattern, it becomes much easier to understand what your body is doing and how to move forward. Once you run the test, what you get back is your daily cortisol pattern. You'll be able to see how your levels rise, how they fall, and whether that timing is happening the way it should. And this is where things start to connect. You can see if levels are staying too high, dropping too low, or not shifting at the right times. And when you line that up with how you feel, your energy, your sleep, your focus, it starts to explain why those symptoms are happening. Once you can see your cortisol pattern, it starts to explain a lot of what you've been feeling. You can understand why your energy feels inconsistent across the day and why sleep doesn't feel as restorative, even when you're getting enough hours, and where that pattern is actually breaking down, whether it's in the morning, later in the day, or at night. So instead of trying to fix symptoms one at a time, you're looking at the underlying pattern that's driving them. And that's what makes your next steps much more specific and effective. This type of test gives you a clear picture of your daily cortisol rhythm, and it helps to explain the timing of your energy, your sleep, and where that pattern may be off. But it's just one piece, because cortisol doesn't act on its own. It's connected to other systems that also influence how you feel. So this gives you an important starting point. And for some people, it's enough to understand what's going on. For others, it's the first step in looking at the pattern more deeply. In the next video, I'll walk you through a more complete way to assess this pattern.